Hey there. How are you today? No, seriously. How are you today? How are you today? When someone asks us that question, our immediate response is to say, I'm okay, shrug our shoulders. However, inside, there are so many different other responses that we'd want to offer. I'm tired. I am exhausted. I'm feeling anxious. I'm sad. I'm depressed. I'm hungry. I'm lonely. I feel afraid. I'm in the space of uncertainty. I feel happy. I feel grateful. So many other things are running through our mind at the same time. And yet, when someone does ask us, especially in our hard seasons, how are you today? Our immediate response is to say, I'm okay. I'm starting to learn a lot more that it's so important to really normalize how I'm feeling and express that. I've also come to understand that sometimes my honest expression is not also coming from a place where I expect a response, a solution, a conversation, an intervention, whatever it is, depending on what my response is. And sometimes that's a hard part because there's a mix of guilt and shame that comes in when we know that we want to say something beyond, I'm okay. We don't want to burden someone with our feelings for that day, especially if they're like really big, heavy feelings. We feel guilty that we are even pouring what we're feeling onto someone else, especially when we know that they may also be dealing with challenging situations. Here's the thing that we're not doing for ourselves. We're not showing up for ourselves. And I know that's hard. I've been guilty of that, where a lot of times someone will say, how are you today? And I'll just shrug and say, I'm fine. But on that particular day, I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I don't feel like working. I'm sad. I'm frustrated. I'm feeling anxious. And there are some days where I feel grateful and happy and I feel joyful. So here's the thing. We are all going through stuff. Let's normalize being honest with expressing how we're feeling. And yes, I know sometimes it's going to be hard. And yes, I know sometimes you may have to be selective about how you respond to different people because not everyone is going to be able to absorb and take what you share, especially if they're big, heavy feelings and emotions that you're dealing with on that particular day. And sometimes we struggle to try and find the words. It's like, I normally might say, I'm okay. Today, I don't feel that I'm okay. And we're not always necessarily looking for a solution, especially when we're dealing with some situations. Sometimes we just want that person to hear us. And we want to know that there's someone beyond ourselves that we can pour into. I've spent a lot of time, especially in the last 2 years, praying. And I understand some people have their sense of faith and some don't. I know that for me, it's created a space of calm and sometimes an understanding that there are some things that are beyond my control. And so I need to let that go. And for me, sometimes when I do pray, it's off my plate and then I move on. And I know for some individuals, that's not going to happen immediately. But I do encourage you to find a source, a resource, a person, so that you're not necessarily carrying all those heavy feelings on your own. So that if there's a day where you're not okay, you let it out, don't hold it in. Because your body does keep score. My friend Nora will say this all the time. Your body will keep score of every kind of emotion that you have been holding on to. And even in the moments where we think we've let go of those emotions, especially like the really big, heavy ones, it's still there. It's lingering. And yes, it's hard to be vulnerable, because sometimes maybe in the situations where you have been more expressive, people didn't meet you where you felt you needed to be met. They didn't say the words that you were hoping to hear or expecting. They didn't respond in the way that you were expecting or had hoped that they would respond. And that can really put you into a space where it makes you more reluctant to even share. And sometimes it just seems easier to keep it all to yourself. So again, I would encourage you, find an outlet, find a person, pray, write, whatever it is. Don't keep those feelings bottled up inside you, because it will eat away at you in so many different ways. Life is challenging, especially today. I remember when I was a professor and I would give my students mental health days, and I would tell my students it's okay to not be okay. There are some days that I don't feel okay. There are some days that I have to take a mental health day, and I encourage my students to take a mental health day. So in addition to the approved absences for the class, depending on how many times we met during the week, I gave them an extra day and said, just give me a heads up. Even if it's just before class, or even if you're at capacity and you're not able to tell me before class, then reach out to me in some way, communicate and let me know. Because we all need a moment. We all need a break. We all need that time to pause and breathe and just pour into ourselves and rest and not feel the overwhelming anxiety of things that we have to do. And that's really important. And I would always tell my students, it's okay to not be okay. That's normal. We are imperfect. Life is hard. We're going to have some really good days where we will feel joyous and full of gratitude. And we're going to have some days where, we're going to feel sad and we'll feel sorry for ourselves and we'll feel angry and all those different kinds of emotions. That's all part of life. I'm realizing also, too, that I need to honor those emotions on any given day and at any given time. I need to feel those emotions, go through those emotions, hold on to those emotions, let go of those emotions, celebrate those emotions, whatever it is. I also just realized that I don't need to hold on to them forever. And yes, sometimes you do know the individuals that you can truly let your guard down and express everything when they ask you, hey, are you okay? And you can unleash. And sometimes the ones that it's not necessarily tiptoeing and avoiding conversation, but that things are also heavy for them. So you may not go into as much detail. I do encourage you that whatever comfort level you have, when someone does ask you, how are you today? Let them know how you really feel. Let them know what's really going on. And it's okay if they don't have a response. It's okay if they don't have a solution. What matters is that you're honoring your emotions on that particular day, at that particular moment. I love it out here. It's raining, and there's something beautiful about falling rain. And you can smell, I don't know the flowers that are out here. Lupine is native to this area. But even as you're hearing the soft sound of the gentle falling rain, I can hear the birds in the distance and the sound of the rain falling on the ground that has been freshly cut in some areas. This is what brings me peace. On any given day, whether it's in the morning or in the afternoon or at night. You're going to find me somewhere here along some trail, somewhere out in the woods. So if someone was to ask me right now, hey Jessie, how are you? Right now, in this moment, I feel peace. There's still several hours in the day. Other emotions are going to come up because they always do. And wherever you are, if you haven't had a chance to, I encourage you to go outside. They're not kidding when they say nature is healing. It really is. And don't forget, if anyone asks you, how are you today? Let them know. It's the most radical form of self-love and self-care that you can offer to yourself because you deserve it. And don't forget to go outside.